Courage is not a feeling, it's an action. Welcome back to the Twin Win, the only live stream on the internet that helps you get the twin win of succeeding in business while winning at home so that you can stop existing and start living and enjoying your life. We go live here almost every day, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, every weekday, anyways. And we are here to help you get that twin win. Today, I am going to talk to you about the idea that courage is not a feeling, it's an action. So often we talk about courage as being a feeling. How do we feel courageous? How do we get that feeling? But really, the feeling is fear, right? Courage is acting in spite of fear. We've heard that quote so many times, but I don't think we've really analyzed it to realize that what we're saying with that quote is courage is an act. It is an action. It is taking action in spite of the feeling of fear. So when you feel fear, when you feel that in your bones and you act in spite of it, that's courage. That's taking courageous action. And I want to talk about that. The reason why I'm talking about that today is because it's a new year. It's a new opportunity for us to take action. And a lot of us are going to be afraid, and a lot of us are wondering what's going on, and we're hearing changes in algorithms. We're hearing this and that. And I just got notice about if you have an LLC, there's changes in tax laws. There's changes in things that we have to report. So there's a lot of fear right now. There's a lot of wondering what's going to happen. By the way, 2024 is also an election year. So there's a lot of fear of what's going to happen depending on what side of the fence you're on. And that affects either side, affects how business operates. And so we have to continue to take action. We have to continue to take the next right step. We have to keep acting in spite of fear. And that's really what my message for you today is courage is an action. It's a verb. Courage is a verb. It's an action word. It's not a feeling. You'll never feel courageous. I don't even feel courageous right now talking about this. I'll be honest with you. I'll get off of this live and I'll bet you I'll go back through, I'll watch it and I'll go, man, I stuttered here. I stumbled there. I didn't explain this idea well enough. I should have explained this more. I feel fear every time I go on stage, every time I do something, but I act courageously. I move in courage. I act in courage. It's an action. Now, I just want to say, since we're talking about courage and fear right now, I do want to let you guys know, you actually should feel a little nervous. You should feel a little fearful every time you go on stage, every time you go live, every time you help somebody, you coach somebody. And I'll tell you why. So years ago, you guys know I love Frank Sinatra. In fact, right up back up there is a picture of the Rat Pack, several pictures of the Rat Pack up there above my bookcase. You guys know I love Frank Sinatra. And so I was consuming everything that I could get my hands on, and I downloaded an article. It was an interview. It was an interview with Frank Sinatra from Playboy, a Playboy interviewer. So no, I just downloaded the interview. I didn't download anything else. So the point is, in this interview, I'll never forget, out of everything that was asked of Frank Sinatra, the one thing that stuck with me was this. The interviewer said, after all these years, now this was in the mid 60s when Frank's like at his peak, like he's the chairman of the board. He's at the peak of his career. He is really, everybody knows him. Everybody knows Frank Sinatra. He's making millions. He's investing. He's all kinds of money, all kinds of property and jets and all the high life in Vegas, all of that. And the interviewer said, do you still get nervous before you go on stage? Do you still get nervous before you go on stage? That was the question. Frank Sinatra answered and said, yes, of course I do. If you don't get nervous, it means you don't care. And if you don't care, the audience will sense that, and then it's Endsville for you. Endsville was his parlance, meaning your career's over. Nobody will want to watch you anymore because they can tell you're indifferent. You don't care. You're just doing it for the dollar. Have you guys ever watched a movie with, say, your favorite actor, and the movie's horrible, and you're like, why would they do this? And you watch it, and you realize they're just going through the motions. They got a paycheck. They did it for a paycheck. Look, I love Nicolas Cage, but there's been a lot of movies where you watch it and you're like, man, he's just doing it to pay off that tax bill from years ago, right? That's what I'm talking about. When you act courageously, your audience will sense it. They'll know that you are acting courageously because you're afraid that you will forget something that's important because you care about them. They'll sense it. And that makes them more forgiving when you do mess up. And that makes them want to come back because they know you care, because you give a darn. about them. So that's my tip for you today. Courage is not a feeling. Courage is an action. Fear is the feeling. And when you have courage and you act in fear with courage, it means you care. And people will sense it and they'll be forgiving and they'll come back. So let's do it this year. Let's keep this year moving forward. Let's get that twin win of succeeding in business while winning at home. Let's act courageously for our clients. Let's act courageously for our families. And let's stop existing and start living. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me today.